There are two ways to log into Romeo. You may log in through Citrix by clicking web links followed by the Romeo icon. Citrix will save your account details for future sign-in. If you have a Romeo account but do not see the Romeo link, please have your manager update the Citrix access form. If you are frequently logging into Romeo off-site and do not have remote access, you can reach the Romeo portal by following this link. If you choose this method, be sure to bookmark Romeo in your browser to ensure easy access. Once you have reached the Romeo homepage, enter your username and password. If you do not have a username or a password, contact the Romeo superuser. You will be brought to the Romeo homepage. From this homepage, you can navigate to the various areas of Romeo. Your researcher profile can be accessed by clicking My Profile. Here, you will find all of your information, including your affiliations. You are able to make changes and updates to everything in this profile except for your name and your email. These changes will be applied to any future applications, but not to applications already submitted. If you would like to change either your email or your name, or to make any changes retroactively, please contact the superuser. To navigate back home from anywhere in the Romeo portal, you can either click Home or Back to Home. Your browser navigation buttons will not work in Romeo. The Contact Us button will provide you the information for the current superuser. Please contact them for any Romeo-specific questions, comments, or concerns. The Apply New button will bring you to the New Application screen. On this screen, you may select the appropriate new ethics or awards file type to open. This is the page where you will begin new applications for internal awards, create new research ethics applications, and register external grants or studies with no funding. In Romeo, ethics and awards are two distinct modules. These two modules do not communicate with each other, which may result in duplicate files for an individual study. These files will contain different content, but general documents and study details will need to be entered twice. Within each module are multiple events. You must first submit the appropriate application and have this approved prior to submitting an event. The news link is where you can find important details on Research Institute events, educational opportunities, and public relations notes. The Useful Links section houses links to areas of the CHEO website, of research regulation websites, and other information relevant to the preparation, submission, and upkeep of ethics or funding applications. The search bar will allow you to look up a file by its 8-digit Romeo number, event number, or reference number. You will then be taken directly to the file. If you do not know your Romeo file number, you may manually search for your file using the role blocks. When you log into Romeo, you will see a search bar. This is the easiest way to be taken directly to your study. However, using the search bar requires you to know the 8-digit Romeo file number, event number, or reference number. This number can be found on any Romeo-related communications. If you do not have your Romeo file number, you're able to manually search for your file using the role blocks. Your projects are organized into these role blocks based on your role on the project. If you are listed as a principal investigator, your studies will be under the principal investigator role block. If you are listed as a project team member, which encompasses any co-investigators, collaborators, or coordinators, you will find your study listed in the project team member category. Note this is based on the CHEO project team. If your study is multi-centered and you are not the principal investigator for the full study, but you are the CHEO lead investigator, you will be listed as the principal investigator in Romeo. Most users will only see these first two role blocks. If you are using Romeo to review funding or REB applications, you will also find the reviewer role block. We will not get into detail on the reviewer role block, however, there are resources available on the CHEO RI website with more information for reviewers. When you expand the role blocks, they are divided into 8 sections. These sections are the same for both principal investigator and project team member role blocks. Applications Drafts contains any incomplete ethics or grants applications that have not yet been submitted. Note if you open a new application and close out of it immediately without saving, a copy of this application will be saved in your application's drafts. You can go ahead and delete that application if it is not needed. Application requiring attention are submitted applications that have been returned as there is an error or they are incomplete. If that quick link in your role block is bolded and red, this indicates that there is a study requiring your attention. Please follow the link and view the project workflow for an indication of what is incomplete. Applications under review are applications not yet accepted for review by the REB or Awards Office. You will not be able to submit an event to any of the applications in this quick link. Applications post-review are applications that have been accepted for review by the REB or Awards Office, or those that have been approved. Note that just because your application is under Applications Post-Review does not mean that your application has been approved and you are ready to start your study. Please reference any communication from the REB or Awards Office to indicate whether or not your application has been approved. Applications withdrawn contain applications that investigators have decided to withdraw from evaluation. If at a later date you decide to reapply with this study, you may always clone this application into a new application and resubmit later. Under your roadblocks, there are also a few event quick links. These links are intended to help you navigate quickly to certain events requiring attention. Events drafts contains any incomplete event forms that have not yet been submitted for review. You may access these directly without sifting through all of your applications by clicking directly on Applications Drafts and the project for which you are looking for the draft. Similar to the application form, if you open an event and then close out of it, it will create a draft. Events requiring attention contain any projects with event forms that have been returned as they are incomplete or there is an error. Again, this will be red, bolded, and underlined if there is an event form requiring your attention. When you open this quick link, you will find the reason it has been returned in the event workflow. Finally, the reminders section are a quick reference to projects with upcoming renewals or deadlines associated. This section will be red, bolded, and underlined if you have an upcoming annual renewal, a report due, or any other milestone reminder that you must action. Now that you are able to navigate the roadblocks, you are ready to update any studies you have in ROMEO. To access a new application, log into the ROMEO portal and click Apply New. This will bring you to the New Application Forms page. This page is divided into two sections, the CHEO Research Ethics Board and the CHEO Research Institute, which houses awards and registrations. For the purpose of this video, we will be submitting an ethics application for a prospective study involving minimal risk. When you open a new application, the first thing you will be asked to do is to complete the title and keywords. This red asterisk indicates any required field in the application. These must be populated in order to submit. Next, we will be linking an existing awards file to this new application by clicking Search. All submitted awards files will appear in this section. Find the appropriate file and click Select. This system does not have an autosave feature, so remember to click the Save button frequently to not lose your work. The next tab is where you will insert your project team information. If you are the principal investigator, scroll down to Other Project Team Members and begin adding your project team. If you are creating this submission on behalf of a principal investigator, click Change PI. For REB applications, only CHEO-affiliated staff may be listed as the PI. Residents and fellows must list their supervisor. For awards applications, residents and fellows may be listed as the principal investigator. Within the investigator list, type the last name of the PI and click Search. Once the individual appears, click Select. This will update the principal investigator's information. If you have removed yourself as a principal investigator, you must re-add yourself as a project team member or you will lose access to this project. You may now add the rest of your team using these steps in the Other Project Member category. The Application tab will be slightly different for every application type you complete. If you would like clarification on any of the questions asked in the tabs of an ethics application, contact the REB. Similarly, if you require any clarification on questions asked in an awards application, contact the awards office. Most forms in ROMEO have a checklist of documents that will need to be attached to your submission. Please be sure to reference this list prior to submitting. This tab is where you will attach any relevant information to your application. In addition to the study documents laid out in the checklist on the previous tab, many submissions have signature pages, which can be found at the bottom of the attachment page or on the REB or awards websites. This must be signed and attached in order for the submission to be reviewed. For new applications, a signature is required from any impacted department. Please consider this in your submission timeline. You are now ready to attach your documents. Be sure to include a specific name, the version date, and version number in the description box. Below, select the most appropriate document type for your document. If none of the document types apply, select Other Document. Repeat these steps to attach all of your forms. The Log tab is where you will find information about the back and forth of your file, as well as any specific details when your file is returned from the REB, Awards, or Contracts office. Click Shared Communications in the Logs tab to get to your emails. You will see all emails sent to the research team through ROMEO in Shared Communications. Find the email you would like to reference and click the magnifying glass next to the email. Emails sent prior to September 12, 2017 may not be available through ROMEO. Contact the appropriate office for copies of older communications. You may view the email in ROMEO, or you may print it by clicking Print. If you would like to save the email to an electronic file, click Print as well. Once you have clicked Print, click Print to PDF. This will allow you to save a copy of the email directly to your study's electronic file. Once you have completed your application, look for the Errors tab. This Errors tab will only be visible if you have missed a question that is marked as required with the red asterisks. You may click the Errors tab to identify the skipped tab and question. Visit that tab, answer that question, and the Errors tab will disappear. Now that you have completed and reviewed your draft, you are ready to submit. If you are listed as a project team member, you will not see the submission button. Only the PI may submit the file. If you are the PI, thoroughly review the application and, when ready, click Submit. A comment box will pop up at the time of submission. You may insert a comment if relevant, or click any key and submit. You have now submitted your application. In ROMEO, events are nested under the initial application. Therefore, in order to submit an event, you must select the appropriate application type. There are two ways to do this. You can either enter the 8-digit ROMEO file number into the search bar and press either the Enter button or the magnifying glass, or you can manually search through the role blocks. Once you have found the appropriate application, click the Events button. For this video, we will be submitting a minor modification to an REB file. If I were to select the awards file, I would not see the minor modification event. The events page for both the ethics and awards files are set up similarly. On the top portion, you will have a list of events that you may submit to this file type. Below, you will find all events tied to this application. The categories used to sort these event files are similar to those categories used to sort applications. For the purpose of this example, I am submitting a minor modification. The opening tab to all events is the Notes tab. You may enter specific information pertaining to this event in this Notes tab, and it will be visible within the event block. This can be used to sort multiple events. Similar to any activity in ROMEO, you must hit the Save button frequently to ensure you do not lose your work. The next tab is specific to the event that you are completing. If you have any questions pertaining to the content of this tab, please contact either the awards office for an awards file or the REB office for an REB file. Now that we have completed all questions marked as mandatory with an asterisk in the application, you are ready to attach your files. To do so, go to the Attachment tab and click Add Attachment. Here you will type in the description of the document, which includes the document name, the version number, and the version date. You can browse and select the appropriate document. You will then enter the version date below. It's important to note that this date may not be the date that you are submitting the event. Then you may select a document type. If none of the document types are applicable to your document, please select Other Document. Once all this information is complete, click Add Attachment. These steps are then repeated to attach all of the necessary documents, including the signature page, which must be signed by the principal investigator. The Log tab is where you will find information about the back and forth of your file, as well as any specific details when your file is returned from the REB, Awards, or Contracts office. Once all of the tabs are complete and the attachments are attached, thoroughly review your event and click Submit. It's important to note that any member of the project team may submit an event. When you click Submit, a comment box will appear. You may type a specific comment into this box, which will then be visible on the project workflow and can be used to track the life of your project. You've now successfully submitted your event. Once you have found your file, click View. The tabs along the top of the file are where you will find your communications. Click the Logs tab. For more videos and resources, visit the Research Institute website.